Good morning, everybody. Mestre Sukuri coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Mestre Vibes, updated podcast 103, and you'll see why. Welcome back to another episode of Mestre Vibes, where we explore the soul of Capoeira through stories, rhythm, and reflection. I'm your host, Mestre Sukuri, speaking to you from Tokyo, Japan, my home for over 2 decades, and the unexpected stage for my journey as a Capoeira teacher, community leader, and cultural bridge. Today's episode is a reflection from the inside, what I've learned as a Capoeira teacher in Japan. Not just about teaching Jingo or beating Bao, but about building something from nothing, navigating cultural gaps, and becoming a better human through this art. First, I realized Capoeira is not something you master, it's something you serve. In my early years, I thought that teaching meant performing, showing what I knew, leading the Roda with confidence, and controlling the energy through skill and presence. But over time, I've come to understand something much deeper. Capoeira doesn't belong to us, we belong to it. It is not a stage for ego, but a living tradition we are called to serve. This truth became even clearer in Japan. Far from Brazil, I couldn't lean on nationality or shared cultural assumptions. I had to earn trust through consistency. I had to live the philosophy, not just teach it. That meant showing up on good days and on the hard ones. It meant leading with humility, listening with patience, and becoming a steady presence that others could depend on. As I wrote in my new book, Vivência, being a Mestre is not about status, it's about service. The beating Bao teaches this too. It doesn't shout, it guides. It doesn't dominate, it tunes. It tunes the mood, invites the dialogue, and holds space for everyone. Last weekend's Open Roda reminded me of that lesson. The energy was alive, the music flowed, and something beautiful happened. We connected. People from different walks of life came together, not just to play, but to feel, to support, to be present. In that moment, I was reminded that the power of Capoeira is not just in the individual, it's in the collective. Community matters. We need each other. Capoeira thrives when we gather, when we sing in chorus, when we move together with shared intent. That Roda wasn't great because of any one player. It was great because of the ashe we built together. That's the real magic. And that's the path of a true teacher. Not to stand above, but to stand with. I also learned that running an academy means balancing art and business. My journey in Japan taught me one of the hardest truths of this path. If you want Capoeira to survive, not just spiritually, but structurally, you must become both an artist and entrepreneur. Capoeira is sacred. It moves the soul. But to sustain an academy, to keep the doors open month to month, it takes more than passion. It takes planning. It takes structure. It takes sacrifice. In Capoeira Fire, my second book, I wrote about how what we offer isn't something you can hold in your hand. We don't sell a product. We share a feeling, the sense of growth, of belonging, of ashe. And that feeling has to be nurtured carefully. That's what pushed me to study marketing, administration, and client retention. I had to learn to treat students with both respect and professionalism. I had to balance being a cultural guide with being a responsible business owner. I had to nurture discipline while understanding that not everyone came for the same reasons or stayed for the same journey. Creating a professional, welcoming, and authentic space became part of this art form. And that was one of my greatest lessons. Passion alone is not enough. Structure sustains the fire. But let me be honest, most people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. They see the class, the Roda, the energy. What they don't see are the hours I spend cleaning the toilets before students arrive, scrubbing floors after they leave, or staying up late organizing events. They don't see the thousands of dollars invested into beating baos, atabaques, and panderos, or the time spent recording albums, hosting haunted houses for the kids, preparing music and music nights, or building an international cultural space that simply doesn't exist in most corners of Japan. And still, I keep showing up. Not because it's easy, but because it matters. Because every time someone walks through our doors and feels welcomed, inspired, or transformed, even for a moment, that's a victory. That's why we do this. That's why I keep going. This is the invisible work of a Mestre, the work of a firekeeper, the one who keeps the light burning, the one who keeps the rhythm steady even when no one is watching. And if you're on this path or dreaming of it, remember, the art may be spiritual, but the service is practical. Do both with love, and Capoeira will not only survive, it will thrive. I also learned that vivência is in the heart of Capoeira. Vivência, lived experience, is what separates an instructor from a tour guide. It's more than knowledge. It's more than skill. It's the depth of presence, humility, responsibility earned over time. Here in Japan, where Capoeira elders don't line the streets and where tradition must often be rebuilt from memory and intuition, I had to draw deeply from my own experiences, the ones forged in silence, in conflict, in joy, and in failure. And I had to pass them on, not just through technique, but through presence. Vivência lives in the subtle details, the way you greet your students, the respect you show when tuning the beating bow, the space you hold before a ladainha begins. It's how you teach by example, even when you're off the mat, outside the roda. It's how you show up with patience, with integrity, with fire in your spirit. Even when no one else is watching, it's not just repetitions, it's revelation. The pandemic was a true test of this. When everything closed, when uncertainty became the norm, it wasn't just our movements that kept us together, it was our vivência. We weren't just training, we were surviving, we were healing, we were remembering that Capoeira is more than a game. It's a lifeline, a language of resilience. Now, I see my role as a master with even greater clarity. I no longer guide just one academia. I now hold space for entire communities across borders. In addition to Capoeira Zoador Tokyo, I support our instructors and groups in Thailand, Korea, Okinawa. Each has their own rhythm, their own challenges. And I do my best to guide with care, to offer what I've lived, not just what I've read or heard. Beyond our lineage, I receive messages and emails from capoeiristas around the world, from outside of Zoador, sharing their stories, sharing their questions, their struggles. And whenever I can, I take the time to respond, to mentor, to encourage, because I never forget being a Mestre is not about recognition, it's about responsibility. And I will never undervalue that responsibility. Capoeira trusted me with this role, and through vivência, I honor it, day by day, step by step, movement by movement. Not every student is a disciple, and that's okay. That one was hard. In my heart, I wanted every student to become a lifelong practitioner of capoeira. I used to believe that if I gave it my best, if I shared my heart, my knowledge, my time, then surely they would want to walk this path with me all the way. But life taught me otherwise. Some people come into capoeira for a season, others stay for a lifetime, and both are part of the journey. Like I said in Capoeira Fire, I spoke about the three types of relationships we encounter: the client, the student, and the disciple. Each holds value, each teaches us something, but not everyone is meant to go deep. And that's not a betrayal, it's just the rhythm of life. My job as a master is not to force the music, it's to offer the rhythm, to meet people where they go, and to guide them on this journey without attachment, to plant seeds, not to control the harvest. Capoeira is freedom, and that freedom includes the right to step away. Along the way, I've learned another humbling truth. You can give someone the best advice in the world, honest, heartfelt, deeply rooted in lived experience. But if they're not ready to hear it, or they simply can't understand it, it will not land. And that doesn't make them bad people. It just means their journey is different. Maturing as a master means accepting that not everyone is built the same. Not everyone is ready to lead. Not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur or step onto the long road of becoming a master. And that's okay. Some are here for inspiration. Some are here for a workout. Some for a season of healing or joy. And a rare few will feel the deep calling, the calling to catch the torch. My responsibility is to keep the flame burning for all who approach it, and to never let disappointment turn into resentment. Instead, I keep teaching, I keep giving, and I trust that those meant to walk further will find their way, in their time, in their rhythm, in their own jinga. Capoeira will not always love you back. There have been moments, deep, painful ones, when I gave everything to Capoeira and still felt alone. When students left without a word. When the Roda echoed with silence instead of a song. When criticism rang louder than the music. In those moments, it was easy to question everything, to wonder if the sacrifices were worth it. But through the struggles, I came to a truth that changed everything. Capoeira does not promise you love. It offers you a mirror. If you're in this path for applause, for status, for constant validation, you will burn out. Capoeira will humble you. Capoeira will test your ego, shake your expectations, and demand your authenticity. But if you're in it to grow, to serve something greater than yourself, then even the struggle becomes sacred. Even the solitude becomes transformative. This is not easy, but it is beautiful. And if you stay with it long enough, it will teach you not just how to move, but how to be. The spiritual and philosophical strength I've gained from Capoeira is beyond explanation. It lives in the rhythm of the berimbau, in the vibration of the atabaque, in the silence before the ladainha, the music, the energy, and the profound truths hidden in the poetry of the lyrics. They guide me daily. They wake me up to who I am. They remind me to value what surrounds me, to be grateful for every lesson, every loss, and every connection. Capoeira has given me eyes to see more clearly and a heart that knows how to endure. And perhaps most importantly, it has helped me recognize and cherish the deep relationships I've built along the way. The students who stayed, the friends who became family, the community that shows up, sings together, laughs together, and carries each other forward. It is in these people, in this energy, I see the true power of Capoeira. And that is why I continue, not because it's easy, but because it's real, because it transforms, because it calls us to become more. Thank you, family, for walking in this path with me. If today's episode touched your heart, I invite you to go deeper on my Mestre Vibes Patreon. That's where I share exclusive lessons, interviews, behind-the-scenes reflections, and more importantly, mentorship. Stay grounded, stay curious, and always keep the ashe flowing. Ashe sempre. Lots of love, lots of peace, and lots of capoeira. Mestre Sukuri, Mestre Vibes, Tokyo, Japan.